What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have more Diablo 4, which is actually a little bit surprising. I was not expecting that video with my Apocalypse Warlock build to get as much views, not as much love as it did. Shout out to the one person that did comment about EQ2 and being an instant sub. Thought that was really, really cool. There is not a lot of gamers that are 27, 28 in the atmosphere that played EverQuest 2, let alone EverQuest 1. Even some of the older ones like Rift. There's a lot of those. Everybody knows about World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, but EverQuest, shout out. That was really cool. I had a good smile, good chuckle at that comment. But today we are going to be going over this bad boy right here, the Horadric Cube. Now, there is a lot of things to know about the cube, but the first thing that I'm going to teach you guys how to do is how to create god rules. And it's actually a lot easier than you think. So, we're just kind of gonna go. We're gonna hop into it. Make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing. It is super helpful to know what you guys like, what you don't. The informative guide content is something that I'm just good at. It's something that works well with me. So we're gonna do more of it, especially now that we know about wilds. We have an idea of when to keep the YouTube going. We're uploading other stuff, and one of my favorite games right now is Diablo. So without further ado, let me show you guys how the Horadric Cube works, okay? To start, you can do a couple different things. The thing that we are going to be focusing on here, though, today is gear modification. Adding, chaotic rerolling, focus rerolling, removing, transfiguring, and unique power rolls. The main three that we are going to be, or four technically, that we're going to be focusing on today is going to be these four right here. Adding, removing, and redoing affixes. Now, if you play Diablo, you know that looking for perfect gear is really important. Okay, you want certain things that make your builds better, whether that's vulnerable damage multiplier and poison damage multiplier like me here on my Spiritborn, or maybe you want more maximum life because you're playing Warlock, and maybe you need a smidge more to pump out some more damage. Maybe you're playing Necromancer and you need more willpower. There are so many different things that you need as a whole, and going into the cube really lets you do a lot more than what most people would guess is possible, okay? So, in fact, just to toss it out there, I have a couple of pieces of gear here that were created with the cube. And they may not have the GAs, the greater affixes, the stars on them, but they work well enough that I was able to get some insane damage, okay? In fact, we're going to do a little showcase of that right now. To open up the notepad and take a look. Because of rings, you want mainly offensive perks on them. We're going to focus right here. This section is going to detail everything that you need. So for an offensive tuning, this red one right here, you see my mouse hovering over, we can get strength, intelligence, dexterity, willpower. This is going to vary based off of your character, which one they scale off of. Thorns damage, crit rate, all damage multiplier, crit damage multiplier, vulnerable damage multiplier, damage over time multiplier, and elemental damage multiplier. This is going to be the fire, the holy, the cold, the lightning, the poison, the shadow, and the physical, because there is a difference, and all of them are available, which means you might be able to make your god rolls, but it takes a little bit of effort. So on this ring specifically, we want more, but we don't want life regeneration. We want offensive skills, which means the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove an affix. You need raw primordial dust, which is really easy to acquire. You'll just get it from everything. You shouldn't need to go farm for it, but should you, you can also go into the Karas Undercity and you can use the Horadric dungeon keys. I don't even know if I have one right now. That's runes. Here we go. The ingenuity tributes, and these are going to get you the supplies that you need. But because we're talking about the cube, we're going to stick with that. We want to remove an affix. If we were to just click remove affix here, we would remove one of the two. We have a 50-50. But since we know we want to remove life regeneration, we open up the notepad. Life regeneration is part of defensive tuning right here. Meaning, if we use Protector's Tuning Prism, target defensive affixes, and we slot this in with our other supplies, we can transmute our ring, removing the only affix we didn't want. Now, the thing about it is that now this ring only has one piece, which means we're going to add an affix. Going back to the notepad, you guys can see we want vulnerable, damage, and then poison damage. We already have vulnerable, which means we're looking for damage over time, poison, or dexterity, because that is what Spiritborn scales off of. Meaning, we would go to click Add Affix, we'd have all this slotted in, and we would add the Aggressive Tuning Prism. By adding this, we transmute one more time, and you can see here we got All Damage Multiplier. All Damage Multiplier is a decent one, but it's not the one that we want. So you might be asking, why not just sit there and keep upgrading it until you get everything you want? Well, that's because when you do focus reroll, like I'm going to do here, you still have a chance to lose it, because when you get some of these pieces of gear, you're going to need multiple offensive, defensive, mobility, utility aspects, which means you're always gambling a little bit. So we're going to focus reroll this. We rerolled it, and unfortunately, we lost our vulnerable damage multiplier, which means we reroll again. We got crit chance, we got all damage, neither of those we want. But let's say we're not going for offense, okay? Let's say we want to build this ring 100% into HP or mobility. What we would do here is we would go for a different tuning prism. If we were to go for HP, we could stick with defensive tuning and we could get maximum life. We could get resistance to elements. We could get single resistances. Let's say we wanted to create a ring that had +2 Jaguar skills. We would end up being able to use the utility tuning prisms. So it would look something, I accidentally grabbed that, like this. We go through, we add a pragmatic, we add an affix, and we transmute. And now we've transmuted something that has life regeneration on it. We don't want life regeneration. We're going to remove the affix, and we'll add a different one. Or you could focus reroll. Either way works. You see here we got lucky hit chance. We still don't want that. Focus reroll. We transmute one more time. Life regeneration. We don't want that. Hey, there we go. Cooldown reduction. Maybe that's what you were going for. The idea behind all of this and the tuning prisms is that you don't get GAs. You will not get greater affixes from it, and that's okay, because the stats themselves are still good. So what we're going to do here, before we upgrade to Legendary, is we're going to create something that's good. So, at least for me on Spiritborn, I know exactly what I would need. But because we're going to go for, we'll say, a generalist piece for whatever we may want, let's go ahead and just aim for something that most characters seem to really, really like. And that is going to be crit rate, crit damage. We'll go with maximum life, and we will add a core skill using the utility prism. Or we'll do movement speed. Well, we'll do movement speed. Movement speed's always nice. If you guys want, I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen for a second. I'm going to just keep talking. You guys can kind of get an idea of what to look for, as well as I will make sure to actually like snapshot, or like, not snapshot, you guys can pause the video, but you guys are able to see exactly what is here. Any sort of offensive skills, you want the offensive tuning prisms. Defensive tuning is going to be for the tuning prisms. utility, so on and so forth. The idea behind it is to go through all of them, figure out what you guys need, and especially because I'm going to be doing a lot of builds and stuff like that, I will also be able to help you guys figure out what you do need and what you don't need. In fact, the video I'm recording after this is going to be all about my Spiritborn, because it's kind of crazy. It's really crazy. So now that you guys have been able to see that while I was talking, we're going to go ahead and move on. So we're going to go for crit strike. We're going to go for critical damage. We're going to go for maximum life. And I think we're going to go for movement speed. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove that. We're going to clear all of this. Let's put the ring back in. We already have critical strike chance, but we have physical damage multiplier. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus reroll. We will add an aggressive tuning prism, and we're going to really hope that it hits the physical portion and not the crit chance. Unfortunately, we got really unlucky there because we did roll critical strike, but we're going to go ahead and focus reroll one more time and hope. We got dexterity. Not great, not what we want. We're going to keep rerolling. There's critical strike chance once more. Let's see if we can get critical strike damage. No, we got damage over time. You know what? I'm playing Spiritborn. That's good enough for me. You could keep rolling if you're going for something else, but it is not a requirement. Next up is we're going to go ahead and remove an affix. We don't want cooldown reduction, okay? We are actually going to replace this, so we're actually going to focus reroll, my bad. We're going to go for movement speed, because movement speed is just super important no matter what you are playing. If you do not have a certain amount of movement speed going into some of these in-game fights, you're really going to be putting yourself at a disadvantage because there is a lot of AoE. We're going to go ahead and just keep re-rolling. We got life regeneration again. Meh. We got cooldown reduction. Not bad, but not what we want. Life regeneration once more. The best part about this entire system is it only uses your tuning prisms as well as your other supplies. You're not wasting any money. You're not doing anything like that. It is literally just these pieces. I'm getting really unlucky. I haven't even seen a mobility one, which is kind of funny. Can you get mobility on jewelry? Wait a minute. You might not be able to now that I think about it. That might be why. I'm still learning all of the ins and outs exactly on everything. I don't have a crazy amount of time in the game quite yet, but we're getting there. So we're actually going to remove the utility because I actually think that's exactly what it was. But we're going to add something different instead. And what we're going to add instead is going to be resource. Now, the reason we're going to add a resource one, we're going to go ahead and open the notepad back up. Resource tuning is going to give us more of our actual resource. That's going to be Fury for Barbarians. It's going to be Faith for Paladins, so on and so forth. Okay. Getting additional resource can be very good, especially if you are not using, we'll say, Ring of the Starless Skies, the Mythic. So we're going to go ahead and add that affix. And we got resource cost reduction. Not bad considering how often I am spamming all of my dashes and I'm casting all of my abilities, okay? The last thing that we are going to add is going to be maximum life. So we go back over to the Protector's tuning. We will add that affix and transmute. We now have maximum life, critical strike chance, damage over time, and resource cost reduction. Let's say we wanted other stats. Let's say we wanted to, hey, we're done with this. We're good. We're happy. But you're not 100% sold. What you would do now is you would upgrade it to legendary. You can no longer change anything, but that's okay. Oh. We go ahead and try this one more time without having the ring in there. Upgrade to legendary. The ring has now been upgraded to legendary, which means we can do something else. We can go over to our occultist. Our occultist, we slot it in. We'll just go ahead and redo this one, which is aspect of infestation. I do believe that's offensive. Yep, right there. We go ahead and imprint it. And now I show you guys what you can do. Let's say you had 4 different offensive affixes all on one piece, and you were terrified that you were going to lose one of the 3 main ones, and there was one that just wasn't good enough. Like for me in this case, this one has Dex, Life, all damage, damage over time. It has Dex, it has damage over time, and it has all damage. Super valuable. I didn't want to lose any of those. But I didn't want to gamble it. Here's the thing. If you go over to the occultist, you don't have to gamble it. This resource cost reduction that we don't care about can get replaced with any of these. meaning there's an opportunity that I get something I may want. This one, unfortunately, does take Forgotten Souls, or at least your materials, as well as money, but it pretty much guarantees you to be able to get exactly what you want after you've done the majority of the hard work without spending any of your supplies. Because now once this is done, we go over to the jeweler. We will go ahead and add sockets to our ring. And now this ring is ready for the next step. Next step being to upgrade, both with a blacksmith, and to temper and masterwork it for its final set. The thing about the cube, especially when it comes to gear modification, is that it looks really, really complicated. It took me a little bit of time to figure out how it all works, but I promise you it is not as hard as it looks, okay? Just remember that you are not able to add or remove affixes if it is not a blue or yellow piece of gear. So, you want to make sure that you get some of those ancestral pieces, like the one right here, or just, honestly, just do this on ancestral. Do this with ancestral pieces, because if you use it on gear that you're going to end up replacing really, really quickly, it ends up being a complete waste of your guys' time and supplies. The cube can be a lot, okay? I will not lie, but that is why I created the notepad, specifically so you guys could see every possible thing you need to know. If you're going for offensive tuning, you need these red ones. If you're going for defensive, utility, resource, mobility, whatever it ends up being, you are able to make it work very, very easily. The only difference with all of it is these are the chromatic tuning prisms. These ones are going to literally just change the element of resist that is available to you, but you can kind of subvert that by just using defensive ones. It's kind of up to you. Maybe, you know, you don't have a lot of rubies, so you want to have more fire resistant on your armor because you have plenty of topazes and plenty of, we'll say, emeralds for poison. But it's just different things that you guys can adjust. I hope this was enough to kind of break down everything, kind of walk you through all of it. It's a little bit convoluted, it's a little bit complicated, but it ends up being really, really nice at creating the pieces you need until you get lucky. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for my guide on the Horadric tuning in the cube. That is going to do it for me for today's video. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I've got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.